So here we are starting with the cell division. As all the organisms on this planet are made up of cell or cells. So first of all, we should understand that what is cell. So cells are the basic unit of our life. Or we can say cells are the structural and functional unit of our life. As all the organisms are made up of cell, here one exception, that is viruses. Yes, viruses are exception as they are acellular. So that is the reason they are also called as threshold of life. As outside the body, they are considered as non-living. But when it enters in any living organism, so these viruses, they take over the machinery of the living organism and then they act as living. So viruses are exception as their body is not made up of cells. So cells are the basic unit of our life. All other organisms are either made up of single cell or many cells. So cells are what? Basic unit of our life. So here two types of organisms. First is unicellular and other one is multicellular. So in case of unicellular organism, since body is made up of just one cell or single cell. So every process is going to occur in that particular cell itself. Whereas in case of multicellular organism, as here many cells are there might be division of labor. But in case of here multicellular organism, if at all some cells are getting damaged by some reason, it might be some natural reason or it might be some accidental case. If some cells gets damaged, so what is going to happen? That particular cell is going to get died. Yes. Then what is the solution to that? To get new cells. So that new cells are going to produce by the cell division. Okay. So as unicellular is made up of single cell, multicellular organisms body are made up of many cells. But if we'll see life of all multicellular organism, that also starts from single cell. That is zygote. As fusion of male and female gamete and formation of zygote. The zygote is unicellular, but when division and redivision takes place in that zygote, that is single cell or unicellular, then it develops into multicellular organisms. As zygote develop into embryo, embryo develops into fetus and all. Yes. So growth of every living organism, that depends on cell division. So in multicellular organism, when in any case, in anyhow, if any cells gets damaged, then new cells are going to occur. So how these new cells are going to occur? How come these new cells are going to occur? So new cells are going to produce from pre-existing cells. That is very important part, from pre-existing cells. And that particular procedure or process by which these new cells are going to get formed, that is what called as cell division. That is the case of multicellular organism, where new cells are going to get formed from the pre-existing cells. Whereas in case of unicellular organisms, that is whenever a unicellular organism is going to have cell division, there will be production of two cells. There will be always production of two cells. And majority of time, in case of such particular unicellular organisms like amoeba and all. It will help for the reproduction. Yes. So in unicellular organism, this cell division will help for reproduction, where two cells are going to get formed. Two cells will be formed. So as cell division is one such process through which new cells can be produced. Yes, here new cells will be produced and which are going to remain universal rule for unicellular as well as for multicellular. So here also in unicellular also, after cell division, new cells are going to produce, whereas in multicellular also after cell division, new cells are going to get produced. So that is what universal rule. Yes, this cell division is universal rule for both for unicellular as well as for multicellular organism. In unicellular organism, here cell division occur at the time of reproduction, whereas in multicellular organism, cell division will be occurring at the time of growth. So now, in case of cell division, how division is occurring there? How division is occurring in case of cell division? How division occur? Okay. So that is always sequential. That is always sequential. Okay, it is highly sequential. Always sequential, why? That is very important part. How division occurs? So it occurs sequentially. Why sequentially? Because in the type of cell division, there should be equal division of nuclear material. Why? Because there should be equal division of nuclear material that is DNA or RNA. Yes, that is very important. Next is there should be equal division of all cell organelle. Yes, equal division of all cell organelle. Yes, along with cytoplasma also. So that is the reason here it should be always sequential. It should be always sequential. So that is why cell division is proved to be very sequential. So here one sequence is coming after another, then again. So likewise here sequential division. So that is how. Now next is when the cell division occur. When? When the cell division occur. So that is always depend on the cell type. That is depend on cell type. Yes. Which are the cell types? Like unicellular and multicellular. So that depend upon unicellular and multicellular organism. Yes. In unicellular organism, when cell division occur, that is at the time of reproduction. That is generally at the time of reproduction. Whereas in multicellular organisms, so generally this cell division will be occurring at the time of growth. This at the time of growth. Yes, and cell division will be responsible only for growth. In multicellular organism, your cell division is responsible for the growth. Whereas this cell division it can occur daily. Yes, it can occur daily or it can occur after some specific interval or specific interval. Yes, so this is all about cell division, where we had studied about the cell, exactly what is cell. There we had seen as all the living organisms are made up of cell or cells. As unicellular organism, they are made up of single cell, or multicellular organism are made up of many cells. Here division of labor can be seen, but all the multicellular organisms, they start their life from the single cell, like zygote, and growth of every living organism that depend on cell division. So cell division is responsible for growth. In unicellular organisms, cell division occur at the time of reproduction, whereas in multicellular, at the time of growth. So this is all about cell division, and in the next lecture, we will discuss about cell cycle.